Bonjour tout le monde. I had a good call with Donald Trump last night again.
Trudeau is at the end of his time. It's a parliamentary system. He's hated by his own people. He's got a few months left. Trump will not be negotiating with him. He's gone. This is like the end of the parliamentary system, like Britain. A few months ago, they whacked their PM. Trudeau he's irrelevant. So now Trump should actually bring down the Prime Minister in waiting, a guy named Pierre Poilievre. He's much more in sync with Trump. He's going to lift the ban on pipelines, eradicate no more carbon tax, and investing back in Canada. People want to invest there. And he's concerned about the border, concerned about fentanyl. He should go down to Mar-a-Lago now. Trudeau, irrelevant. Doesn't matter.
What does any of this have to do with starting a trade war? Like, why can't you develop relationships with our allies? It's not a trade war when you get in sync with these two economies. There's no way on earth we're talking about water, paper, power, cars, gas, oil, all coming from Canada. Massive trading partnership. No chance in hell there'll be a tariff.
Because, just finish the sentence. No chance because it would be damaging, or
because
no
it's
chance?
A bad idea.
No, I just want him to finish his idea.
A 25% tariff would devastate both countries. It's not going to happen. But the guy to be negotiating with is not Trudeau. He's a zero right now.
Wouldn't push it.
Coming to protest his tyrannical ways.
Yes, Trudeau is under heat. Just the other day, he was being criticized on social media after appearing on a concert with Taylor Swift. Some people say that was just a motive because he knows elections are coming up. Now to interact with these Taylor Swift fans, that is the best strategy he thought he can put forward. Going back to this video, Justin Trudeau has just conceded to Trump tariff threat in 24 hours. So Trudeau knew that this problem was happening. He could not cooperate with Biden. Now, Trump coming in, Trudeau is suddenly realizing that there was a problem. This is to tell you who this guy is. He knows elections are coming up. He changed his mind. Now say, we are reducing the number of immigrants coming into Canada throughout the year. Trudeau allow this to happen.
I had a good call with Donald Trump last night again. We obviously talked about laying out the facts, talking about how the intense and effective connections between our two countries flow back and forth. We talked about some of the challenges that we can work on together. It was a good call. This is something that we can do, laying out the facts, moving forward in constructive ways. This is a relationship that we know takes a certain amount of working on, and that's what we'll do. One of the really important things is that we be all pulling together on this. The Team Canada approach is what works. That's where, putting aside partisanship, that's where I reached out immediately to Doug Ford to agree with him that we would have a First Ministers meeting this week to talk about the United States. Talked with François Legault and some other premiers as well. There's work to do, but we know how to do it.
The Prime Minister dances while Montreal burns. Over the weekend, Montreal was attacked.
Who cares? I wouldn't.
The streets of a major Canadian city were set on fire this weekend, and the Prime Minister was nowhere to be found. A radical and anti-Canadian mob burned cars, smashed officers, and the Prime Minister was nowhere to be found. It took him until noon the next day, and he offered the most basic platitudes resembling some standard condemnation that he's been offering after fomenting the hatred that he's now surprised about. So I have one question. When was the Prime Minister told about the riot, and why did he decide to keep dancing the night away?
Yeah. The Prime Minister dances while Montreal burns. Over the weekend, Montreal was attacked by a vicious anti-Semitic windows while the Prime Minister was busy dancing at a Taylor Swift concert. This is what we get from a Prime Minister who for 9 years has divided Canadians. He divided us by race, by religion, by region, age, and wealth. He's opened our borders to attack law-abiding Canadian citizens. The result? Firebomb synagogues, extreme. Canadians need an election now so Conservatives can restore our values, our freedoms, and law and order in this country.
Yay!
Justin Trudeau tweeted to Taylor Swift, asking her to add a stop of her Eras tour in Canada this summer, saying, quote, "It's me. Hi. I know places in Canada would love to have you, so don't make it another cruel summer. We hope to see you soon." Residents are blasting him for the tweet. One person tweeting, quote, "Direct update on the state of Canada's economy." Another tweeting, quote, "Put out the wildfires, Justin." Joe, your reaction to this? Look, the responses have a point, but as I read his tweet there, I'm thinking to myself, he might be, trying to drum up some business for Canada, too. Yeah. Taylor Swift is a huge economic draw.
Sells out every concert. We're not talking arenas. We're talking stadiums, right. 80,000. This has generated billions of dollars, this tour. So I get it to a certain extent. It's easy to take a shot here. I'm waiting for Emmanuel Macron, perhaps, to say he loves Katy Perry and start tweeting at her. But look, bottom line is...
Yes, Trudeau is under fire on social media. He was out there dancing to Taylor Swift concert while Montreal was burning. Canada Conservative Party leader Pierce slammed Justin Trudeau in lengthy statement of a shocking anti-Semitic riot in Montreal. "You act surprised. We are reaping what you sow." This is what happened when a prime minister spent 9 years pushing toxic woke identity politics, dividing and subdividing people by race, gender, vax, religion, region, age, word. On top of driving people apart, you systematically break what you used to bring us together, saying Canada is a post-national state with no core identity.
So there's a little mini riot in Montreal yesterday, and of course, Twitter, X, the propaganda machine of Elon Musk, blew it up as Montreal was burning to the ground. It's the worst riot we've ever seen. They're just taking hostages. Like, come on, guys. So we knew that it wasn't, this massive deal. There were some people protesting. They got out of hand. It was shut down quickly by the provincial authorities. So anyone who was saying, well, Trudeau should have done something, he shouldn't be out at a Taylor Swift concert, what could he do? Right? Because if he did step in any way, shape, or form, it would be seen as he's a dictator, overstepping his bounds, and blah, 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 like the last time that he stepped in when a provincial leader didn't do their job. And we all know what I'm talking about. So anyhow, we're going to see a lot of stories like this coming from the propaganda machine, which is known as X or Twitter. Elon's little propaganda machine. He's going to have his operatives and his cronies sow discord and make everybody think that Canada is just falling apart and bursting at the seams with violence and craziness, and we have no freedoms, and the only one who could save us is Pierre Poilievre, just like Trump was the only one who could save the U.S. And what we're going to see is a lot more of this over the next coming months until there's an election called. So don't believe it. Dig deeper, because usually these little headlines from these little, sensationalized, operatives of Elon Musk and whoever else, the Conservative Party or whoever is pushing all this crap.
Have a nice Sunday, everyone.
I felt a time watching that video. To see a leader like this doing in between children, it is crazy. I've never seen this before. When you call yourself a leader, there is a way you do it, not like this. Justin Trudeau is being criticized nearly on a daily basis. I see this, but I don't report on videos. I don't want to even do videos about him. But when I look through, especially linking to this Taylor Swift concert, he got backlash when he invited Taylor Swift on a tweet begging her to be in Canada. That day, he did not learn a lesson after the backlash. He still proceeded to go to the concert, dancing like a little child. Even when you go through the comment sections, everywhere this video surfaces, they are not happy with this guy. But I'm not really concerned about this, because people who criticize him are the same people who go to the polls and vote him. It is insane sometimes to see people ranting on social media, then doing just the contrary of what they criticize. Sometimes I would say, you deserve it because you voted for it.
Because usually these little headlines from these little...
These are Trudeau supporters. Look at how they behave. This guy is now claiming like nothing happened. There is a video. I'm going to show you how this journalist was arrested, struggling to report what was happening. He is lying. He knows that he's lying, struggling to support Trudeau.
You hear about Justin Trudeau? He went to a Taylor Swift concert, and isn't that sweet? And he was dancing and stuff. Meanwhile, Montreal was burning, and all the recipe, all the ingredients in the recipe of a riot, of course. And guess what? Justin really, really doesn't like.
Who cares? I wouldn't push it.
Doing this. That's what she did.
NBC News can now project that Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin, which means he is the winner of this race and will return to the White House.
And Donald Trump will be our next president.
Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States.
CNN projects that Donald Trump has been elected president, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris and making a political comeback unlike any in modern American politics.
You know what? Donald Trump likes my music.
Please register to vote.
Look at this. She's only up by 15 points.
Got Taylor Swift.